And welcome back to the worst movies, the top 10 worst movies of 2022. This is going to be the last video for today. I started feeling a little today, and I kind of took like a 2-hour nap. Feel a lot better now. But I'll just, because it's New Year's tomorrow, why not just do the rest of the videos I'm doing tomorrow? I'm doing the box office one anyway. So, yeah, this is, as I angle the camera, and you see Connor there in the back. Just re-angle this a little bit. There we go. So this is my top 10 worst movies that I've seen this year. I did not get to see every movie this year. Obviously, I never see every movie. I do the best I can. And I'm going to be honest, it was a pretty light year for bad movies. Not to say there weren't any, but the first 4 to 5 of these aren't god-awful movies. They're just on the low end of the scenario. So let's just get into it. At number 1, a movie I like but recognize probably isn't the best, Amsterdam. Amsterdam for me was a weird little experience. Me and my girlfriend saw it, and we both agreed we liked it. It wasn't bad. The acting's good. It is kind of a weird, wacky type of movie. But there's something missing from it. There was something that just wasn't working. It was just taking too long. The trailers never really let you know what this movie was about. Even the movie for a while is that kind of sure of what it's about. It's not sure what it wants to be. This is a very confused movie identity-wise. But I mean, like, all the actors are still there. They're there to perform, man, and they're having fun. Clearly, I remember there was a excuse me, a line. It was, I think Christian Bale said that he had to basically tell Chris Rock, like, I love you, man. Mike, I love your stand. You're a great guy. I can't be on set with you right now when we're not on screen because I can't keep a straight face. I can't stay in character. So that tells you they at least had fun doing the movie. But it's just a movie that kind of is there. This movie has the same kind of tone. I didn't see Babylon, but seeing the trailer for Babylon and seeing the trailer for Amsterdam, these films have a very similar tone to each other, where I'm not sure what exactly they were trying to go for overall, ultimately. But it's not a god-awful movie or anything. It's just, it could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot better. Another movie that could have been a lot better, but is not terrible by any means, is Black Adam. At number 9, look, I fully stated that this isn't the best movie in the world. It's not the god-awful, it's currently not the worst movie this year, but it's not a well-put-together script. It's not a well-told story. We've seen the story multiple times. There's nothing unique about it. But the characters, the action, the actual comic book nature of it, those all land, baby. I love the character. I loved Hawkman. I loved Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate. The Rock is so charismatic as F. The villain's just boring, but whatever. It's still a very entertaining movie. And I would rewatch Black Adam before I rewatched Amsterdam. But that said, I would say that the Amsterdam is a better put together story and a better acting. It's a better movie, but Black Adam is probably a more fun movie. And honestly, these two might be interchangeable on the list. But either way, Black Adam, number 9. Yeah. Coming in at number 8, Uncharted. Well, this stands again as something where I'm like, I liked it. It wasn't awful. It's not, unlike with Black Adam too, it's not like it's a poorly written story. They give you all the beats you need. Where him meeting Sully, they give you some Indiana Jones, Tomb Raider, Uncharted-like adventuring. You get the big ship climax with the stuff. The climax is a lot of fun, absolutely. Tom Holland's doing his damnedest. I buy him as a young Nathan Drake. Problem is, I don't think a lot of people wanted a young Nathan Drake. Now, you don't need a 40-some-odd-year-old Nathan Drake, but early 30s would have been probably a bit better of a way to go. I get it, you want to try to franchise. And the movie, when I get the box office, did end up making some money. It didn't bomb. It wasn't well received critically, but it was okay received by the fans. The problem ultimately, Joe, is that it's trying so hard to be its own original thing while trying to be an homage, and it's just kind of failing on a lot of those regards. It's not doing it very well. Tom Holland, I watched one reviewer I watched made a good point. Like, did he have some dental work done or something? Because his mouth is doing this weird thing throughout a lot of this movie. And Sully is just not a likable character in this. Sully is a likable character. He's still kind of this character in asshole, but he's still a likable character in the actual games. Here, he's just not likable. That on the fact that there is some CGI, a lot of, like, with the Antonio Banderas being the main villain, like, that's right there. That is a misdirect I hate. Antonio Banderas was billed as the main villain, and then they just killed him. PG-13 killed him, cut his throat with no blood. And now you get this random chick who we're like, okay, as a henchwoman, she's good. As the main villain, I don't give a rat's ass. So, this is probably one of the most disappointing movies for me on this list. I'd argue maybe the most, apart from my number 3. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So that's number 8. Coming in at number 7, we have the Bob's Burger movie, a carryover from the best animated, top animated films list. This is just I rinse and repeat what I said in the original top 10 animated one. It's just a giant pile of meh. And honestly, that is probably one of the worst things you can, I mean, it's one thing to be bad, but one of the worst things you can do as a movie is leave no impact on me. And this left no impact on me. I've said my piece about why I'm not a big Bob's Burger fan overall. And this didn't do anything to change my mind. It looks nice. Like, it looks animated for the big screen, but this could have easily just been a 2-part episode or something like that. 2 hour-long episodes spaced between, 45 minutes, however many minutes of trailers were between each episode. So, yeah, it just didn't work for me. I'm just not a Bob's Burgers fan. The other movies on this that came before are much better films. And honestly, here's the thing. I would say that looking at these films coming up, only maybe one of them is an actual better movie overall in terms of how it's put together. But this is just, it's just not interesting for me. I'm not a Bob's Burgers fan. I'll never be a Bob's Burgers fan. Probably, at least I probably won't ever be a Bob's Burgers fan. So it just falls in the giant meh side of things. But meh, you'd think meh would be number 5, like, or number 6, like the very middle of the road. But no, there are movies that rank worse. And coming in as movies that rank worse, you'll be surprised it ranks only this low on the list, or this high on the list. Pinocchio at the number 6 marker. So, Pinocchio's one of those movies, I stand by. The first 20 minutes are actually good. Like, legitimately, the first 20 minutes, I think, up until he goes to school for the first time, the movie's working. Yeah, Tom Hanks works in Geppetto. You get Cleo, and I can't remember the cat's name, but you get those characters. You see Jiminy introduced. I like the Blue Fairy. I like the idea that because Pinocchio was just brought to life, and the implication he's the reincarnation of his son, he's just literally repeating everything people say because he just doesn't know anything. He's just taking in information, so he has to make an adjustment. So I liked all that, like all and then them just having their day in day out lives. I like all these routines, like their day. I like all that. That's wholesome to me. I like that. The problem comes once he goes to school. You meet Honest John, who looks good, voiced by Keegan-Michael Key, if I'm not mistaken. But then it's like you get you'll be an infamous. We'll call you Chris Pine. No, that will never work. That got painful. There are story points that don't make any sense. He gets kicked out of school instead of just skipping school, so it makes sense why he doesn't go to school. The Stromboli stuff, I mean, that number's fine. I do like this thing with the girl who's was a dancer but had an injured leg. Pleasure Island looked fine, but it's just there's just stuff that doesn't compare, especially because you're going to be comparing it to the original film, that just doesn't work in comparison to the original film. And then I like what they're trying to go with the moral at the end, where it's like, oh no, he's a real boy without being a real boy. He is a real boy. It's like, wait, you're just going to cop out with this? Look, I didn't see the Guillermo del Toro to Pinocchio. I I don't intend to, so I saw the clip. I'm like, at the ending, I'm like, oh, how did it end? And I saw the ending. I'm like, well, this is depressing. It's a better ending of what they were trying to go for in this than this movie, though. I give them credit for this, but yeah, I think the Guillermo Pinocchio ending did this type of ending better than this one did. Overall, though, I mean, there's things that still work. I like how it looks inside Monstro's belly, like the luminescent algae and stuff like that. I like that. And turning into Astro Boy for a second, Astro Boy. That was a little weird. The fact that he can set himself on fire and not feel a damn thing is funny. Using the lies to get out of something. So wait, lying is a good thing. Like, it's so morally confused. Whereas the morals you teach in the original Pinocchio are fine. It's such a wasted opportunity. Hopefully, like Disney's. I had never to go on. Maybe that's a list I'll have to do at some point because I've seen nearly all the live action Disney remakes. I think the only ones I haven't seen are Pete's Dragon. I actually never saw the live action Lion King or the remake of the Lion King. It's not live action. It looks it, but it's not. I never actually saw that one. Other than that, I think I've seen them all. So at some point I'm gonna have to do a ranking video on those. But yeah, Pinocchio. It's only number 6 though. Only number 6. Because Pinocchio didn't piss me off. Don't Worry, Darling got me mad. Don't Worry, Darling. You want to talk about this is not the film, by the way, I mentioned earlier where I'm like, there's one other film that might be my most disappointing film of the year. Don't Worry, Darling is from what I understand, this was a blacklisted script. Like, this was just on the shelf, and they thought, okay, we'll try to do something with it. Having watched the film now, I know why the damn thing was blacklisted or shelved. This is such an overdone concept. The idea of, yes, you're being manipulated into this world you think is the real world, but turns out it's not the real world. And what the twist, however the twist is just... When you can predict a movie's twist from the trailer, you know you've effed up. Because it's not an original twist. This is not an original concept. It's acted well enough by Chris Pine, Olivia Wilde, Florence Pugh. I don't know what Harry Styles is doing. I don't know. By the way, I don't know. I'm not blaming Olivia Wilde in the sense that, because I don't know, by the way, if she actually is dating Harry Styles, because that's apparently a rumor that got spread. Like, one of the reasons the filming was there was such a nightmare about the film and the movie is that it was, that they were dating and it was getting in the way of things. I first off actually don't even know if they're dating. And if they are dating, well, I don't know if that rumor is true or not. But there was a lot of issues going on with this film. The Shia LaBeouf thing, and he called her out rightly where, look, you sent me a video begging me to come back to this movie. Look, that he called you straight out, Olivia. Like, what? Apparently her and Florence Pugh didn't get along. Then there's the alleged Harry Styles stuff. And honestly, you can see all of these problems on the screen. It is weird. I wouldn't say it's aimlessly directed, but it just keeps walking through itself, I guess is the best way to put it. Like, you're just walking through the events of this person's life and are trying to figure it out. And you know shit's not right here, but it's not like you can do anything about it. You just gotta wait for whatever reveal to happen and for her to try to get out. And look, when we get the reveal that this isn't like some brainwashed cult in the sense that, oh, we're kidnapping people and bringing them to this place and brainwashing them. Oh, no. You are being drugged up, I'm guessing, by your significant other and then brainwashed into a virtual reality simulation. Which begs so many logic questions that I would probably get a nosebleed. So, I mean, I don't actually get nosebleeds, but you get my point. Like, I'd just be like, it's like, so this happens, and why does everything smell like copper? Like, it'd be like that. Like, The problem is it raises so many questions that are not answered. You don't like the Harry Styles character that much, and then when you learn more about the Harry Styles character, you don't like him even more. And because the script already existed, I don't want to feel like they're trying to tell a message here, like Olivia Wilde's trying to get all feminist or something like that, or trying to bash on men. I don't want to get there because I don't think that's what she's trying to do. I do know she's a very vocal feminist. I do know that, but look, you can be a feminist and still understand there's a difference difference in genders, and that most guys aren't this evil person. You can still be a feminist and want equal rights and all that. That's perfectly fine. This movie is just painting men out to be terrible, terrible people. And it's, what was the other film that was like that? Or what's the Charlie's Angels remake that came out recently, a few years ago. It was not Kristen Wiig. Oh God, Elizabeth Banks who directed it. That came off as such. See, there's good feminism, and I don't. Why did I get into feminism? There's good feminism and there's bad feminism. That is bad feminism, where you are just bashing on the other gender just to uplift your own. That's not what you're supposed to be about. And this film doesn't quite do that, but it just paints men out as controlling ass. At least a sect of men. And you're right, there are a sect of men who are like that, certainly. But it doesn't paint any other guys in the movie as good people. It paints, in fact, yeah, that's just it. It paints every single guy in that movie like a piece of shit. Every single guy in that movie. So, I don't know. And look, I get that's the point in the film. That doesn't make it entertaining. Chris Pine's entertaining, but Chris Pine he's playing up. He's eating the scenery in that film. I love Chris Pine in the film. He's one of the only real redeeming parts. And Florence Pugh was good. She's good. And aesthetically, by the way, it looks great. It does look great. It looks like 50s, 60s Nirvana. So, yeah. Anyway, I've gone on enough of a rant for this. So, moving in at the number 4 spot. What could be worse than Hello, Don't Worry, Darling? Hello, Darling. Don't Worry, Darling. How about The Moon Falling? Roland Emmerich. Look, Roland Emmerich is the king of disaster movies. Independence Day, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Not The Day the Earth Stood Still, sorry. The Day After Tomorrow. I think it was 2012 when he did that one too. He is the king of disaster movies. But the idea that the moon is losing orbit and falling. Okay, why is it? Well, tell me, Roland, what it was. I'm here for this. It's going to be a stupid time, but why? Megastructures, aliens. We were seeded by another race of human beings that existed on a different planet, created the AI, were killed by their AI, and the AI has now come to kill us. So, these are great concepts for a movie. Because when I saw the megastructure stuff, I'm like, I know what megastructure. I know the theory of megastructure. This is okay, cool. And then it occurred to me, this does not belong in this type of movie. This belongs in like a 2001 Space Odyssey. This belongs in a high think piece type movie, or at least a better concept science fiction movie than this. Hell, Jupiter Ascending, a terrible movie, is a lot more fun than this. But a terrible movie could adapt this idea better. You don't use the idea of a mega structure in a disaster movie. You use it in the concept of supreme intelligence, of warring races of beings. You use it in higher evolutionary planes of existence, overlord-like being. You use it in this sense. You don't use it in, hey, let's go explodey bloom boom, explodey bloom bloom, explodey boom boom. Earth, our moon is falling. Earth's going to be destroyed. You don't do that. This is not the type of film Roland Emmerich should have been handling. And I say all this as someone who still was able to have some fun with it. I think all our main cast is doing the best they can. Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, who was ripped, by the way, training for Aquaman. I don't remember the nerd guy who was talking about it. Hell, Michael Pena's fine. Like all these actors are doing the best they can. Although the kid actor was terrible. Oh my god, when she has to say goodbye to her son, yeah, her son, I believe that. My god, that was bad. That was bad. Oh man. But I'm like, the effects work ranges from solid to oh dear god. There all the other like side actors are just terrible. I don't buy a lot of what's going on in general. Like what? No, you're all gonna die anyway. So no. Like I said, what pisses me off is that I like the concepts. But it's just not made by the right director. Not done by the right director at all. So Moonfall comes into my number 4. My number 3. Now this is my most disappointing film of the year. Morbius. Look, you can make all the more bucks you want. You can make a more billion more bucks. Doesn't matter, man. The trailers I thought were pretty solid. I'm a comic book nerd. I love comic book movies. Morbius, I'm like, okay, that's an interesting one to do. They were definitely making him look good in the trailers. He was scary. And I'm like, I don't hate on Jared Leto like a lot of other people do, but that's Jared Leto's hot kombucha. Sorry, we watched last night on Christmas Eve. It's like, that's hot kombucha. It's Jared Leto's hot kombucha. But anyway, so when I knew a problem was going to happen when we got into the theater, and we were the only ones in the theater. And yeah, look, what's disappointing is I could see the good movie trying to get out of there. It's the same problem I actually had with, was it Good Boys? That comedy that pissed me off a couple years back. Anyway, yeah, I think it was Good Boys. Where the kids are trying to, I can't remember. It was R-rated. They were like, I can't even remember what the plot of that movie was. I think they were trying to spy and learn how to kiss for a party, and then they had to buy acid, and then they had to buy a drone or whatever. Anyway, but the problem is similar to that, where I saw the good movie trying to get out of there. When there was an action sequence, I saw the potential there. The effects work when he's using his echolocation and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, that's a different way of doing that. I like that. Jared Leto is trying-ish. Like, he's not god-awful. He's just... Matt Smith is eating the scenery up. He's the best part of the movie, bar none, because he's at least having fun. I even thought like his character's motivation was actually unique. He wasn't a villain trying to take over the world. He just wanted his friend to come to his side and be like, you're my friend. Michael, you're my friend. Come on, Michael. We can do whatever. And he wouldn't let it go. It's like, no, Michael, come on, Michael, come on. So it's like, I just want you to be on my side, Michael. Like that, I appreciated that. And when we could actually get a visual of what Morbius looked like, what Matt Smith looked like, it looked fine. Sometimes. Because a lot of people have brought this up, it's very true. This reeked of incompetent studio interference. And why do I say incompetent? Because all movies, generally speaking, have studio interference. Famous example is the Avengers. Joss Whedon actually wanted to put the Wasp in there, but they chose Black Widow instead. That was the studio's decision. Fair enough. But generally speaking, you just don't normally hear about studio interference because either the movie turns out good, so you don't even think about it, or the movie just is bad and you don't think of it too much. You can literally see the studio interference on the screen because this film just has similar to Amsterdam, this film has a serious identity crisis of whether it's trying to be a PG-13 horror, a comic book film, a comedy. It's so skewed. The ending is choppy as shit, PG-13ing all the way with the blood. If the effects range from good to, oh dear God. And obviously, the Michael Keaton being not even in the movie, being relegated to a post-credit scene, but sold in the trailer as being in the movie. One of the most egregious things ever. Period. And I can tell you right now, I know exactly, that to me not reeked of the studio interference. And to be fair, the pandemic had a part to play in this, certainly, but the problem is it doesn't make any sense why first time Michael Keaton showed up. But even then, the last post-credit scene was so bad. The first one was whatever. It wasn't great, but I could see where because there were scenes in the trailer that were clearly not in the movie. Where it's like, hey, Dr. Michael Morbius, what's up, Doc? You and me should keep in touch. That's not even the movie at all. And you can see, if you watch the movie, you can see exactly where that scene was supposed to be. When Michael gets caught and is brought into jail, that is where that scene was supposed to happen. And at least would have put at least a little context, and it would have given us a nice little highlight for the movie. But instead, you relegate it to crappy post-credit scenes. And look, a line of dialogue. Maybe make the sky glow purple one night. You're not paying attention, and it stops glowing purple. And then a line of dialogue. I was like, it's like, how do you know me? Yeah, look, I've heard about you, Doc. You look a little different from when I knew you. Let's go. We don't. It's like, wait, who is this guy? It's like, we don't know. We just showed up one day. We're like, it's not. I didn't write it. I just doing it off the top of my head. Better than what they did in the movie. It would have been choppy. It would have made no sense. But still, it's a bad movie. It is entertainingly bad though. I can't say I didn't have some fun with it. It's just bad. So that's the number 3 spot. What 2 films could rank worse than Morbius? Well, believe it or not, the 355. 355 is one of those films that when you look at the cast, Penelope Cruz, Jessica Chastain, Lupita Nyong'o, I don't remember. Can I even see? Hold on. I'm actually going to enlarge this one real quick to see if I can read the name. Oh, yeah. Actually, I can't read those names. But you have, Sebastian Stan. You have an all-star cast kind of trying to be closer to like a Charlie's Angels than Charlie's Angels was. And you get this not just run-of-the-mill, not just generic, but unimpressive, choppy spy thriller. All the actors are doing their damnedest. Is the one positive thing I can probably say about the movie is that all the actors are doing good. They're doing a solid job, but it's like too little too late. Like when they edited, they realized, these actors are all doing a good job, but it's just not working. Sebastian Stan is fine, and he even is actually kind of a competent villain, but it's all coming around this very bad script, choppy as shit of like action sequences. There's a couple that stand all right, but it's unimpressive. It's not entertaining. Believe it or not, if it were like a watch night at Mark's, we go over to Mark's like every Sunday and we just chill, drink, watch something and just have fun. Believe it or not, every one of these other movies from Amsterdam to Uncharted to Black Adam to Bozza, Pinocchio, Don't Worry Darling, Moonfall, Morbius, I would probably, with other people, watch them again. A couple of them I'd probably watch I'd probably watch Black Adam again on my own. Uncharted, probably, though that one's pushing it maybe a little bit. Amsterdam, probably watch again on my own. Even with a group of friends. This isn't even good enough to make fun of. Morbius is hilarious enough to make fun of. This is just not good. So, if you watched my best animated film list, best top 10 animated film list, then you actually know what my number 1 worst film of the year is going to be. Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank. Oh dear God. Now, why does this rank as the worst film of the year for me over all the other ones? It's not the most disappointing film. That's Morbius, because Morbius had a lot of high hope to it. It's not like I had any expectations really at all for this film. I didn't. But why? So why? Because you take one of the best comedies ever made with Blazing Saddles, rehash the script for kids. You don't even give it a movie level budget on its animation. You don't even get your actors to actually freaking try half the time. I mean, Samuel Jackson's the only one, and Mel Brooks, but that's because Mel Brooks she just have fun with anything. But Jackson's the only one trying at all. And you just literally, and see, there's a difference between being a remake of something and maybe having an homage, maybe one or two lines, and just blatantly ripping off or stealing the lines and dialogue from a movie and just editing it down to kids. Like, hey, the sheriff is a dog. No, dong. The sheriff is a dong. Hey, he's Jim. Whoa, no, he's not Jim. Oh, and he's drunk. He drinks catnip. You get Mongo, who's got an edamame allergy. Sheriff Hank, or Samurai Hank. I had deep feelings for Samurai Hank. Oh my god, it hurts. It hurts. You literally had them do the fake town. It hurts. It hurts. I give credit. The final fight isn't in Hollywood. They don't break the fourth wall. Granted, it's on a giant toilet. I really just don't have words for how bad this film really is. Not one joke, if I remember correctly, made me chuckle, made me smile, made me laugh. I was actually more standing there watching them going like, oh my god, oh my god. Like, a lot of face palming happened. I face palmed so much I had a permanent mark on my head. I'm being facetious, but that's the point. It was terrible. So ultimately, when you basically just my favorite comedy is not destroying, but when you basically rehash in a terrible way one of my favorite comedies of all time, you get a god awful film. A god awful film. So, that is my top 10 worst films of the year. Join me tomorrow for Pokemon Team videos, the standard box office report, the year-end box office report, which I'll be going over which studio had the best and worst box office last year, or this year going into last year, and the best movies of 2022 tomorrow. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you folks next time.